Oh boy, do we have a doozy of a set of stories here. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of issues of trans rights, and this is one heck of a conundrum. Obviously not for the left or the right because they've made up their minds on this issue. Basically, as Channel 3 News has said, girls encounter, quote, naked man at Palm Spring Swim Center. Police say person self-identified as female. Now, this is an issue. They've put naked man in quotes, and you can see how things aren't really working between the left and right perspective on the issue. If it was a man, which is defined by Wikipedia as an adult human male, and this person was naked, should it be in quotes? Well, the problem then arises with the conflicting left-wing ideology that a man is not an adult human male, even though that runs contrary to what typically society defines as a man. When you look at the trans man section on Wikipedia, it will say that a man is not an adult male. When you click man, it then tells you it is. So there's a huge contradiction here, and you can see that there's a massive rift in our political space. So now we have this story. Parents and supporters of water polo players at Palm Springs High School gathered in front of the Palm Springs Swim Center to express their concerns over three girls seeing who they describe as a naked man showering in the women's locker room. You can see they put it in quotes, and therein lies the massive conundrum. You can't, I don't know, answer. This is crazy. The school's principal and water polo coach reported the matter to law enforcement and the city immediately following the incident. Superintendent of schools, Dr. Sandra Linden, responded via email to concerned parents about the district's investigation and potential solutions. They were mortified, scared, and traumatized. Quite honestly, these girls don't have experience with the male physique, said Christian Foster, a mother of one of the players. Foster says her daughter, Ashley, a 17-year-old senior, and two teammates encountered the person taking a shower when they entered the locker room during a team practice session at the city pool. I think this individual is a predator, a predatory nature, and found a loophole in the law with transgender issues, said Foster. Foster said water polo coaches confronted the person who said they told them they could be in the women's shower because they identified as female. The parents say the person left the pool when they tried to take his picture. You can see how this is a crazy story. Most of us are parents, and we're fearful that our kids will come and be exposed to something far earlier than what they expect to be exposed to, said parent Patrick Rawlings. I would point out, yes, it is entirely for the parents to determine whether or not their children are exposed to this. I do think that 17 is probably an appropriate age to already know what, the opposite sex looks like, but that it's just, look, it's not a comment on whether or not this is or isn't appropriate. I think we've got a massive culture crisis here with the left saying what's wrong with this and the right saying there's something wrong with this. Clearly, you can see the parents are upset. Naturally, the only response the left is going to say is the parents and these kids must be bigoted because there was a naked male human in the shower. Let's read on. There's another story. This is not, there's crazy stories, okay? Police were called to the pool but did not pursue a case, telling News Channel 3 all parties were contacted, no arrests were made, and no laws were broken. Under the state's so-called gender-neutral bathroom law, people can use a bathroom according to the gender they identify with. The law makes no mention of shared shower spaces. I'm infuriated that this would happen, said Foster. The Palm Springs city manager responded to the incident. What we need to do is make sure everyone feels comfortable in our pool, so the policy we're putting in place and the protocol will make sure that occurs. As part of what the city manager calls a temporary solution, the city will install a unisex shower near the locker rooms at the swim center. Not a solution, because the law states you can use whatever shower bathroom you want. Even if they install a unisex shower, trans people are under no obligation to use it. The law is clear on the matter. So this will not solve the problem, and we are going to see this culture crisis expand. Listen, I'm someone who tries to understand people, okay? I have friends who are trans and who are queer, and I have nothing but respect for them, and I want them to feel safe as well. However, many of the sane and rational individuals I know who are part of the LGBTQ community recognize this challenge and wouldn't put themselves in this position either. So my friends in particular who are trans and queer probably wouldn't do something like this because they understand the danger to themselves and the crisis and the scandal that could erupt from this, plain and simple. This also affects people who are not trans, who just happen to look like the other gender. There was a story where in North Carolina, a woman, a physical human female, was accused of being a man and was thrown out of McDonald's. This is creating massive problems for everybody. Ultimately, you will find people who refuse to use a unisex bathroom because the law protects them. And thus, you are going to have more young people who are going to be shocked by this and more adults who are going to be angry and shocked as well. And the city can do nothing. The law is passed. It's done. I don't know what the solution is, but I'll tell you this. There is going to be a problem. I will also point out there are two major perspectives on the issue. You do have people on the right saying you're going to end up with predators exploiting this. You have people on the left saying it's the trans people who are actually the ones who need protection, and that's why they should be allowed to use the bathroom of their choice. And the most important point, I think, of all of this is that before this became an issue, trans people used whatever bathroom they wanted, and no one really ever said anything. It was only when these laws started getting passed that we actually started to see this come out into the forefront because people take a political issue with it. Now that it's in the public space, a trans woman who would be using a woman's bathroom may or may not face some kind of consequence, probably would be ignored. But it ultimately depends on whether or not they pass. And thus, I honestly don't know how to solve this problem. But I will tell you that there have been many videos of trans people being beaten. So there was a video of some women beating a trans woman, someone who was born male, who identifies as female, in a woman's bathroom, screaming at them, accusing them of not being a woman. This is not a safe position for anybody, and these laws, in my opinion, aren't making it safer for trans people. Look, I genuinely don't know what the solution is. I'm trying to be amicable to everybody, but I recognize it's probably not possible. And look, I understand there's going to be people on the right saying we should do X or Y or Z, but that doesn't solve the problem. I don't know if it can be solved. I really don't. So they say, Reddy also said the city will look into installing dividers between all showers and his locker rooms at the swim center. Maybe that's probably a good place to start. One of the things that I think actually does make sense, and actually maybe there is a solution. What they're doing in New York and other cities is they just don't make big multi-person bathrooms, right? So they used to have a women's bathroom and a men's bathroom, and both would have like several the men's room would have like 3 urinals and 2 stalls, and the women would have like 4 stalls or like 5 stalls. Now what they do is they make a bathroom space with private rooms. And I think that actually does solve the problem. So maybe it's not that they need a unisex shower, it's that they should have private, closed doors, individual showers. Because then, yeah, you'll see a dude walk out in his swim trunks, but you see that at the pool anyway. So it's not really that big of a deal for anybody. So if teenage girls when teenage girls are at the pool, they see dudes walking around in Speedos and whatever, right? It's basically underwear. So maybe what they need to do is get rid of both showers and bathrooms and make a big room of individual closeted rooms. Because that's actually what a lot of, they do in California too. So new buildings are being built that way. I think maybe that's the solution. And maybe the problem is the old showers don't make sense. And I have to wonder too, if you're a conservative, and let me know what you think. There's a lot of conservatives on this section of YouTube, so I know you guys are watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. Because one of the concerns is that little girls will be exposed to, things like this. Admittedly, these are teenage girls. But would there be a better solution in having private rooms instead of big open rooms? Like, personally, I would not be comfortable going into a big open shower space where there's no dividers. I'm just not into that, right? So I would much prefer I go into a room, close the door. Actually, at airports, that's what they do too. The lounges have showers. It's just a big row of rooms, and you open the door and go in and lock it, and it's a private room. Would that solve the problem? I think it would. I don't see why there should be an objection to that. They say, the news outlet says, the parents of the 2 girls I spoke with told me today neither the school nor the district responded to them about their concerns after they reported the incident. We contacted PSUSD Wednesday, and a district representative provided this written statement. Both the Palm Springs Unified School District and the City of Palm Springs have taken this concern very seriously since it was brought to our attention after it occurred at the end of December. The school's principal and water polo coach reported the matter to law enforcement and the city immediately following the incident. Superintendent responded via email, concerned parents about the district's investigation and potential solutions. Neither the parents nor team members have shared any lingering concern, and with school administrators following the incident. For the past month, the girls have been reporting to practices regularly and continuing to use the pool changing area under increased supervision. We appreciate the city's efforts and have been informed that they are working on making modifications to the facility to ensure the privacy of our students. There was another story I was getting into. I didn't get to it. So we'll just leave it here. I'm not a big fan of talking about these issues because I don't see a real solution to the cultural. I don't. I really don't. All I've seen from this is that it's entirely possible that adult males could claim to be females. And the reason, and lie essentially. And the reason I think this may be the case is that when it comes to my friends who are trans, they wouldn't do something like this. And I can feel for them if they want to be able to use the showers they're more comfortable with. They don't, because they understand a news story could erupt. Someone might attack you. It could be really dangerous for them. And that's unfortunate. Nobody should feel threatened or unsafe. But I think they recognize this, and maybe the solution would be in like I mentioned, one big room where you've got a bunch of smaller rooms, like they do at airport lounge showers, right? That way, everyone has their own private space. Maybe that makes the most sense. Actually, I'd say I'm a big fan of that, because I would much prefer my own private space. But anyway, these stories, man, it's tough stuff. Comment and let me know what you think, and I'll have another video at 4 p.m. youtube.com/Timcast.